Welcome to this aquatic adventure where we will be connecting scuba diving to a concept that we've dedicated this entire chemistry unit for, chemical equilibria. When a scuba diver has to breathe in air while underwater, their body is hard at work. The deeper they go into the ocean, the more water weight that exerts pressure on the diver's body, as the water is almost pushing down on you.
There are potential ramifications with this, including tissue compression and decompression sickness. But if humans still scuba dive even with these pressure changes, what's causing them to remain fine? And what does this have to do with the chemical equilibrium we've been learning? Well, we're here to answer these. But before we begin, knowing that equilibrium refers to a system where the forward and reverse reaction rate are equal and their concentrations remain constant can help explain this, as that means that there is no actual net change in the system. However, when you're scuba diving, now the system has to react to a change in pressure. Sounding familiar?
Yep, this relates to Le Chatelier's principle, which states that when a system is at equilibrium and an external stress is applied, the equilibrium will shift in a way that minimizes the change, resulting in a new equilibrium. Let's use this equation to represent how an increase in pressure on the body can affect how our bloodstream works during scuba diving, as this reaction exhibits how hemoglobin and oxygen combine in our bloodstream to create oxyhemoglobin. When pressure on the body increases, it alters the blood flow as the blood vessels will almost contract, decreasing the bloodstream's volume of passage. Because of this, the bloodstream must minimize the pressure change as the diver descends deeper into the water, ensuring that the reaction favors the side with fewer molecules to reduce the space occupied and alleviate the pressure applied on it.
By decreasing the concentration of aqueous hemoglobin and oxygen gas, the oxyhemoglobin concentration increases and less volume is taken up as two molecules of hemoglobin and oxygen only combine to form one molecule of oxyhemoglobin. Thus, the pressure on the bloodstream will reduce and the scuba diver will remain fine.
Okay, but who cares? What if our bloodstream's chemical equilibrium doesn't minimize the change in pressure?
Well, imagine having double the amount of molecules taking up even more volume in the already compressed blood vessels, since the equilibrium won't shift towards the creation of oxyhemoglobin. At some point, blood vessels would burst due to the increasing pressure exerted on them, as the volume taken up by oxygen and hemoglobin molecules would eventually be too much for the contracted blood vessel. You can imagine what happens next.
So, in conclusion, without the scuba diver's equilibrium, the changes in pressure would be more extreme, increasing the risk of blood vessels rupturing. Therefore, that forward reaction favor shift that we discussed that the equilibrium has to have is pretty crucial for keeping the scuba diver's health intact.
Now, as a disclaimer, this doesn't mean that you can casually dive 1,500 feet deep, because your equilibrium will only minimize pressure as much as it can. As you can see, the principles of chemical equilibria in the environment is significant in scuba diving, where changes in pressure can influence the safety of divers. By considering the equilibrium between certain compounds dissolved in the body, divers may take necessary precautions to avoid decompression sickness and other potential diving-related illnesses.
Now, before you all head out, there is a pressing matter that should be spoken about. Now, while it is fascinating to understand how our body's natural systems adapt to pressure changes by a shift within one of their own system's chemical equilibrium, we did mention as a disclaimer that it is still not safe to dive down to about 1,000 to 1,500 feet due to the massive physical limitations and implications that come at such depths. However, because the world wants to know more about what amazing aquatic life lies beneath those murky waters, this begs the following question. Alright, let us know what you guys think in the comments section below, and that's all from us. Thank you for listening and potentially learning some new cool information today. Alright, we're out. Peace.